think it's a bit crooked. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about multiple topics, but the main idea of the video is to be talking about the differences between UH and CSUMB. I'm going to be covering like the difference in academics, social life, sports, weather. Sorry if I keep looking over here, it's because I have notes on this notepad just so that I don't get sidetracked. Also, you may have noticed a difference in background, and that's because I moved into my new dorm at CSUMB, which is super exciting because I do have 5 other housemates, but I have a single, so I have a room to myself and I have my own bathroom. Let's just jump into the video before I keep rambling on. So first, I'm going to talk about what are the professors like. Okay, so at UH, I took 4 classes. And for the most part, my professors, at least I heard most of the professors at UH are pretty laid back. They're pretty chill. Not a lot of them dress in what you would call professional attire. A majority of them just wear sandals, some shorts, and like a Hawaiian t-shirt, and that's because it does get super hot there. Yeah, but they were pretty nice, kind of average. I guess every professor. I didn't have any bad professors at UH really, except for one, but that's just because I don't do well with lecture. I can't just sit there and listen the entire time. I get bored. But other than that, my classes were pretty good. And then CSUMB's professors, they're about the same. They're pretty nice. Both of the classes that I had at UH and here at CSUMB are small. I know that's not the case for everybody, but because my major, I'm a sociology major, and for some reason a majority of my classes didn't have like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. It was, I think like the most probably is like 80 that I had. That's when everybody showed up to class at UH, but CSUMB does have a much smaller class size, at least for the classes that I take. The dorms. Okay, the dorms is a different story. UH, their freshman towers do not have AC. And girl, let me tell you, without AC, like that's, I don't know if you've ever traveled out to maybe like Vietnam, Japan, I think even Korea, or somewhere where it gets super humid, tropical mainly, and you just like walk outside and you can just feel like the wetness in the air. That's literally what Hawaii feels like. The humidity is the worst in the months of August and September, and August is when you move in. The freshman towers don't have AC, and I think they have maybe like 12 floors, I don't know, but they do have a lot of floors, so you have to walk all the way up them. I wasn't in the freshman dorms. I was in a building called Freer Hall. Freer looked, I would compare it to the CSUMB dorms. Like it looks almost identical to CSUMB's freshman dorms. So in Freer, you do get AC. That's the only housing unit with AC, which sucks. And then they do have 3 elevators, but most of the time 1 or if not 2 of them are always out of order. We got our own bathroom in Freer, so that was nice. We didn't have to do the whole floor sharing bathrooms like the freshman dorms at UH do. Here at CSUMB, the freshman dorms, I know because I stayed in them, you do get your own bathroom, so you don't have to share it. The whole hall doesn't have to share a bathroom. For Promontory, which is where I live, it's very, very modern and up to date. Like this is probably the best housing I think out of all the colleges in California. Like don't come for me if I'm wrong, but we have our own bathroom here. We have our own full-size kitchen, washer, dryer, dishwasher, like all of that is in the living room, and we have like hardwood floor, which is like super nice. We do have a heater here. We don't have AC just because it doesn't get cold enough to use an AC versus Hawaii where you have to use AC like all the time. Okay, Greek life. So Greek life, the idea when I went to UH was that I was going to rush for a sorority and I was going to join all these clubs. However, they never did a tabling event. There was really no advertising on campus for what the school had, but online they said they had hundreds and hundreds of clubs. While CSUMB does have clubs and sororities and frats, but I thought it wasn't gonna be as small as CSUMB. But when I got to UH, they only have, I think, like 2 or 3 sororities and then like 2 or 3 frats. They table kind of up at the University Center by Jamba Juice, or like down below by the bookstore, but like it's not anything big. I expected a lot more from UH, and that's partially why I went there, was because I thought it was going to be, you know, it's a bigger school, so I thought more people, and I thought it was going to be much larger than it was. Now CSUMB has a great tabling event. I know during fall semester, I don't remember if they do it during spring, but during fall semester they do a huge tabling event where a majority of the clubs are out there and they have their tables out and they're all nicely decorated. Same with the sororities and the frats. So that's one thing that I did miss about CSUMB, was how close-knit it was and how well they did at advertising and trying to, you know, I don't want to say recruit because that's kind of like a big word, but like, you know, take people into like what they enjoy to share it with other people, if that makes sense. Greek life isn't big at UH and it's not big here, but it is much bigger here at CSUMB than it is at UH. What's the weather like? I knew before going that Hawaii was super humid, but I didn't think it was gonna be like it was when I got there. After a while you do get used to the humidity, but like if you like to wear makeup, if you like to dress super cute all the time, then it's just not the place for you. Because when I was there, I like didn't really wear any makeup. I couldn't wear really any cute outfits because I would have to, you know, wash them multiple times because, you know, it's hot, so you sweat, and I sweat in them, so I'd have to wash them all the time. And then they're, you know, when you wash clothes, they're not as nice as they were when you first wore them. Super humid. It rains on and off sometimes, more towards the end, like October, November, December, it rains off and on. And then, oh, they do get hurricanes over there. I survived 2 hurricanes. It really wasn't that big of a deal. Like the first one was kind of crazy just because like it was kind of way blown out of proportion, but we didn't know what it was going to look like on the islands. Luckily it like moved past Oahu, but when you did go to get like your food or like water, it was all wiped out. And then here at CSUMB, it's always freaking foggy. Like it's never really sunny, and if it is sunny, then like it's cold. We rarely get a day where it's like 75 degrees out here, but I mean, you could wear your cute fall clothes or your cute winter clothes, like a cute jacket, you know. You don't have to wear shorts and sandals and a t-shirt all the time. What are the sporting events like? CSUMB does not have a football team and UH does. So going to UH, I got to experience, you know, going to the football games and tailgating, which was really fun. However, like I said, it's humid, it's hot, and it doesn't mix well if you're trying to look cute with makeup and like glitter all over your face. But I did have fun while I was there going to tailgate. They do section off a small part of the parking lot for the tailgate, so it's not like everybody in the parking lot is like, well, everybody in the parking lot's tailgating, but for the college tailgate, they'll section it off, and like there's like the DJ, and like the frat has like their big ol' flags up and everything, so that was cool. I heard UH is like huge for volleyball. I guess you're like famous if you're on one of the volleyball teams. I didn't know that. I was unaware. So yeah, that's just like a heads up if you're like a volleyball player, like a volleyball fanatic, and you're thinking about going to UH, then I would suggest some. For CSUMB, the sporting events, I never really go to any or went to any. I have a thing called Midnight Madness here during the fall semester, and everybody, like all the kids, not kids, all the students go, or a majority of them go, and like the basketball players, I think, have like an alumni game, and like then they play like the boys versus the girls basketball team, and there's games and food. It's really fun. So that's like the only really sporting event that I've been to that's out here. How do you like the difference from home? CSUMB is about like 30 minutes away from my house, so it's fairly close. So going here the first 2 years, I was able to drive home whenever I wanted. I was able to see my family, see my friends, you know, I'm familiar with the area, so I was able to go get my favorite foods and drinks and all of that, versus Hawaii, which is literally, I think, around like 3,000, 2,000 miles away from home, and it's across the ocean. So it was definitely difficult for me to be that far from home, especially because Hawaii, it's a great vacation spot. What people don't understand is, one, the history of Hawaii, and two, how kind of poor Hawaii is. It's actually quite sad, but that's for another video. And thirdly, how kind of outdated they are in terms of just kind of daily life. So it was hard for me to be away from home. I didn't have a car, so I wasn't able to, you know, drive to my favorite spots and go get food or any of that. So the distance from home was really hard for me, but it did teach me how to be even more independent than I already was. And it also taught me more about myself and about Hawaii as a state and how beautiful it is in their culture, which I'm grateful for. Transportation, this is a big one. Okay, so at CSUMB I have my car. Like, I mean, parking passes are expensive, but I have my car, so I'm able to drive to go get food. I'm able to drive to go get like my favorite drinks. I could drive home if I wanted to. I could drive, period. But at UH I had to take the bus all the time, and I hated the bus because a 15-minute car ride could be like an hour bus ride, or if it was like a 30-minute car ride, it would be like a 2-hour bus ride. So it was really tough trying to get around the island, especially since I was on the south side of the island, and going to North Shore was always something that I wanted to do. I went twice. I wish I could have gone more, but North Shore is all the way on the other side of the island, and it's almost impossible to take a bus because it's an all-day event and you don't really want to be out on the bus past dark. Nightlife is another thing that I was really taken back by, because CSUMB doesn't have much of a nightlife. Just Monterey in general doesn't have much of a nightlife other than really like the wharf. We don't have like clubs or well-known restaurants other than like Benihana. But UH, like in Hawaii, there is more of a nightlife, just not as much as I expected. I expect there to be, you know, like more parties. There are clubs there, so that's a plus. CSUMB doesn't have any clubs like in the area, but party life at UH is basically non-existent, at least with my experience. CSUMB, I think that you can get worse than CSUMB, because CSUMB does have a lot of parties, but they get shut down fairly quickly because it's more of a retirement area, and UH just has basically no party life at all, which I didn't think you can get worse, but I guess you could. I wanted to answer some questions that I had got from some people on Instagram. One of the questions that I got asked, it's not really related to, well, I guess it is kind of related to the video. So I am a sociology major. Here at CSUMB it's considered social and behavioral sciences with an emphasis in sociology, versus at UH it was just considered a sociology degree. They do have completely different requirements though in Hawaii versus here. Here you get the A through like E requirements, and then in Hawaii you have to take like an HAP, which is, I think it's called an HAP. It's like a Hawaiian studies class. You have to take 5 intensive writings. So just listen, like intensive writing, like there's like two other requirements that you needed in order to graduate, and I didn't have any of those because I had just transferred. And not many transfer into UH as a junior just because you only need 24 units to go there, and I had 60 because you need 60 to transfer out of a CSU. And another question I got was, what is the difference in food? Okay, so here in the area, I grew up here, it's always been mainly a Hispanic area, so there's a lot of Mexican food, a lot of Mexican restaurants, and I guess kind of a variety of food, because there's also like a lot of Asian food here. But in Hawaii, literally all it is like Asian food. Like there's a lot of poke, a lot of boba. I love boba. There's a lot of sushi, a lot of fish, and a lot of pork, and a lot of chicken. I'm allergic to chicken. I don't eat meat. I don't like sushi. Don't like seafood. The only thing that I liked was boba. So that was definitely another hard thing that I had to deal with, was my food choices. They do have really bomb acai bowls, so it was definitely hard for me to kind of figure out what I wanted to eat, just because in Hawaii it mainly was like seafood based or pork, because everything else is kind of imported, versus here where I can get all the Mexican food that I want. In Hawaii, I'm sorry, but the Mexican food is terrible, like really bad. For example, one time I asked for a burrito, rice, bean, and cheese burrito at the Cheesecake Factory. Yeah, don't ask why I asked for it at the Cheesecake Factory, but it sounded good. And they put white rice and cheese on my burrito and then black beans on the side. And girl, white rice and cheese is just, for me, a no. Like, white rice goes with soy sauce and cheese goes with refried beans. So yeah, that was kind of gross. But anyway, that is the last question, and that concludes my video. So my camera's running out of time. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, let me know what you guys think of this video. And